Hello, this class is brought to you by Isaac Humanitarian Foundation. Now, today, my name is Ifemeni, Christian-Derrick. I'll be taking you guys to biology and the topic human hormones, animal hormones found in humans. So it can also be called human hormones. Now, under animal hormones can be defined as the secretion of biochemicals in the body in order to control all metabolic processes. Can be defined as the secretion of metabolic chemicals in order to control all metabolic processes. Now, hormone can also be said to be an endocrine gland. Yes, endocrine glands are said to be what? Ductless gland. What are ductless glands? Glands without duct are called ductless glands. So endocrine glands are called what? Ductless glands. Now, under endocrine gland, there are lists of endocrine glands found within the body. Now, look at this diagram. The diagram explains the location of the types of endocrine glands found within the body. The first one we have is what? The pituitary gland. The first is the pituitary gland, which is this. Now, let me explain the pituitary gland. The pituitary gland is found at the loop. Sorry, it is found at the midbrain. Yes. It is found at what? The midbrain. The middle of the brain. It is found at the midbrain. Now, the pituitary gland secretes 5 types of hormones. And I will list them now. The first one is known as what? The prolactin. Now, the prolactin is used to stimulate the flow of breast milk. Mammary gland is called the breast milk. So this prolactin is used to what? To stimulate the flow of what? The breast milk in mammalian females. Now, the second one is what? The oxytocin. Now, the oxytocin is also used to what? To control the flow and stimulation of what? Mammary gland, meaning what? The breast. Now, used to control the milk within the breast. It controls the stimulation and the flow of the milk within the breast. That's the main function of what the oxytocin. Now, the next one is Antidiuretic hormone. The function of antidiuretic hormone is mostly used in what? Within the area of what? The liver and the kidney. Now, antidiuretic hormone on its own is used for reabsorption of water back to the body. Like when there is remains of the blood within the body, within the excretive system. Antidiuretic hormone is secreted for the process of ammonia secretion. Antidiuretic hormone is secreted for reabsorption of water within the body. Now, the next one is somatotropin. Somatotropin also called purine. Now, somatotropin. This one is very used for what? For body goods. Anything that has to do with body goods is what? The function of what? Somatotropin. Somatotropin is used for enlargement of body muscles, tissues, and majorly body goods. Then, I think the last one, the fifth one. The fifth one is known as what? The tropic hormone. Now, this hormone is called the master gland. Because of this hormone, pituitary gland is referred to as what? The master gland. Now, what is the function of this master gland? The master gland functions in the way that it controls all hormones within the body. The tropic hormone makes or confounds pituitary as the master gland of the body. Now, the next one we go to is what? The thyroid gland and the parathyroid gland. So we treat the thyroid gland and the parathyroid gland. Okay, the next one we're discussing is what? Is the thyroid gland. And also we'll also be discussing the what? The parathyroid gland. So we're discussing both of them together because now the thyroid gland and the parathyroid gland are located at the posterior end of what? The cervical region. Cervical region is called the neck. So they're located at the posterior end of what? The cervical region. Now, look at it now. The thyroid gland secretes thyroxine. And hormone called what? Thyroxine. Thyroxine in the body is used for the control, used for controlling metabolic and respiration. Thyroxine in the body is used to control metabolism and what? Respiration. Now, the parathyroid gland. The parathyroid gland secretes an hormone called parathormone. An hormone called what? Parathormone. Now, what is the function of this parathormone? It has a major and basic function. Now, parathormone is used in the balancing of salt and water concentration, the concentration of calcium, salt, and other mineral salts within the body. Now, the next animal hormones we'll be discussing is the adrenal gland. The adrenal gland. Now, for adrenal gland. Now, the adrenal gland secretes an hormone called the what? Adrenaline. The hormone called what? The adrenaline. Now, the adrenal gland, the adrenaline is associated with what? Fear, anxiousness, consciousness, and what? Anxiety. This hormone here is associated with fear, anxiousness, and consciousness, and what? And anxiety. Now, the function of this adrenaline is secreted in time of danger or emergency. So this makes it to be called what? The emergency hormone. So the adrenal gland is also regarded as what? The emergency hormone. Now, what is basically the function of adrenal gland? The adrenal gland secretes adrenaline, which is used to control fear, shivering, rate of heartbeat, and rate of metabolic process body. The next one we'll discuss is what? The pancreas. Okay, under the pancreas, based on major functions, the pancreas exhibits two types of function. The first one is that it serves as an endocrine gland. The second one is serves as a what? Digestive gland. So it has two major functions. It serves as an endocrine gland, it serves as what? A digestive gland. Now, under what we are dealing with is what? It's endocrine. The pancreas secretes two types of enzymes. The one is called what? Insulin. While the other is called what? Glucagon. So one is called what? Insulin. While the other is called what? Glucagon. One is called what? Insulin. The other is called what? Glucagon. Those are known as what? The enzymes. Now, enzymes act in what? Conversion of what? Body fluid. The insulin, the function of the insulin is that it converts glucose, blood glucose, back to the body, store them as what? Glycogen. Now, what the function of glucagon is that this enzyme, it converts the glycogen, which is stored in the human body, which is also known as animal fat, it stores it back to what? Converts it back to what? And store it back as what? Glucose, which is being used by the body for regular activities and for energy. Now, so this one converts glucose back, converts blood glucose back to glycogen. This one converts glycogen back to what? Glucose. The last one we'll be looking at, which is number 6, is the gonadal glands, or we can call them the glands at the gonads. Okay, now the next one is what? The glands of the gonads. Now the glands of the gonads is divided into two. The first one is formed by the testes. Is what? The testosterone. While the second one is formed by the ovary is called, there's actually two glands formed by the ovary. The first one is the estrogen, and the second one, which is known as pregnancy hormone, is the progesterone. Mostly secreted during pregnancy. It's also known as birth hormone. Now, estrogen. Now, the major function of estrogen and testosterone. This is for the male, and this is for the what? Both of them for the female. Now, the major function of these glands is that one, it can increase sexual urge or reduce sexual urge, depends on the level of secretion within the body, and it helps us to establish secondary sexual characters. Now, secondary sexual characters are characters that we exhibit at secondary stage of life or secondary stages of life. Now, let's go straight down to what? The secretion of glands. Let's go down to what? The secretion of gland. Now, I'm going to bring out a table for you to understand the secretion of gland. I'm going to draw out a little table for you to understand the secretion of gland. Okay. Now, this table displays the secretion of glands in the body, in the human body. Now, in the tabular form, we have the gland section, we have the under secretion, and we have the what? Over secretion. Now, the first one is what? Somatotropin, which is what? An hormone. Now, it is secreted by the pituitary gland. If it is under secreted, it causes dwarfism in humans. Under secretion causes what? Dwarfism. Now, let's go to what? Insulin. Now, if insulin is under secreted in the body, it causes what? Diabetic mellitus. So, insulin causes what? If under secreted, it causes what? Diabetes mellitus. Now, the next one is what? Gonadal gland, which is what? Testosterone and the what? The estrogen. Now, if these sex glands are under secreted in the body, they causes, the first one they causes what? Low sexual urge. Low sexual urge and late maturity of secondary sexual character. The next one is what? The parathormone. Now, the parathormone, if it's concentrated within the body, it causes tetany, meaning the splash of muscle. When muscles they gum together, it's called what? Tetany. The next one, thyroid, secreted in the body, causes cretinism and goiter. Now, under the over-secretion section, the somatotropin, when secreted excessively in the body, it causes gigantism. It causes what? Gigantism. Now, insulin, when it is secreted in the body over excessively, it causes excessive secretion of insulin in the body. It causes hyperglycemia. It causes what? Hyperglycemia. When insulin is oversecreted excessively in the body, it causes what? Hyperglycemia. Now, hyperglycemia is a condition whereby there is a reduced glucose in the blood. Condition whereby there is a what? A reduced glucose in what? In the blood. Now, the next one is what? Is testosterone and the estrogen. Now, excessive oversecretion of these gonadal glands causes abnormal sexual urge in adult male and female. They causes what? Abnormal sexual urge in adult male and female. Now, they also cause, if it's over-secreted within the body at the gonads, they also cause early maturity of the sex organ. So early maturity of what? The sex organ. The last one we're dealing with is what? Parathormone. Now, when parathormone is secreted in the body, it causes what? It causes softening of bones. It causes what? The softening of what? Bones, and mostly in the cell. Now, this is the what? The secretion and evacuation of what? Of the gland listed above. Now, before I forget, under somatotropin, it also causes another one. When it is over excessive secretion in the body, so causes another disease known as what? Acromegaly. So causes a disease called what? Acromegaly. Now, we're moving straight to what? The functions of animal hormones. Straight to the what? The functions of what? Animal hormones. Now, what are the basic functions of animal hormones? The first one we need to note is that it helps during homeostasis. It helps during what? Homeostasis. What is homeostasis? Homeostasis is the regulation of the entire environment of the human body. Regulation of what? The entire environment of the human body. Entire environment will cool temperature, high temperature. Homeostasis helps to what? Regulate it. So it helps in regulate. It helps in what? Homeostasis. Now, the second one is what? It helps in blood circulation. Now, hormones helps blood to circulate around the body, because one is that it is a ductless gland and it is secreted directly to the bloodstream. So it helps to circulate around the body, helps to provide support, to provide prevention, and it helps in what? In making sure that the body works fine throughout the what? The use of metabolic processes that is well regulated and controlled by the glands in the body. The next one we are going to is what? The changes in cells. Now, hormones helps to change cells. It helps to develop the cell, it helps to elongate it, and it helps to differentiate the cell into component parts of the body. So the next one we are going to, number 4, is growth of the body. The growth of the body. So the next one is what? The growth of the body. Hormones helps to control the growth of the body. If the growth of the body is not controlled, it will either lead to what? Dwarfism or pedantism. So hormone helps to what? To control the growth of the body. Okay, now the final one is what? Sexual maturity. Now, sexual maturity occurs in the living body, whereby the gonadal glands helps to produce hormones which increase the secondary sexual character, which is well controlled and what? Regulated. A low secretion, under-secretion or over-secretion of those parts could cause abnormal sexual urge, late or early maturation of what? Sexual organs. So, sexual maturity is one of the major parts of the function of the what? The animal hormone. Helps to control every part of the what? The sexual maturity of the living being.